Welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news roundup where we're mostly going to be talking about the youth. But before we get into the news, today is the day, December 21st, 8:45pm, that we've hit 100,000 subscribers on the channel, and I have to thank you guys watching. You guys are the subscribed because you are the reason that this has happened. Now, this is my cringy little Twitter post here, but honestly, this means so much to me. I've been doing YouTube since 2012. I've only been doing football content on this channel since 2019. I did a bit of football content on another channel back in like 2016. But I've been on YouTube a while. I've probably made over 3,000 videos across all my YouTube videos, maybe even up to 4,000. It's been a journey. I hit 1,000 subscribers back in 2017. I hit 100 subscribers back in 2014. And just big love to everybody that we actually managed to hit 100k. And I said, I think in summer, it'll probably be for the end of the 24-25 season. I want to hit 100k, but if we can hit it by the end of 2024, that'd be amazing. But it's not realistic, so I'll go for the end of the season. We've actually done it. I never thought we were going to hit 100k by the end of the year. That's why I said my realistic goal was end of the season. My unrealistic goal was end of the year. But we've done it. But look, we are here to talk about Man United. This is what you guys want to watch. This is the breakdown of everything we need to know, because there's not crazy amounts of news today, but there's interesting news and updates on Collyer, Godwill Kukonki, Sekou Kone, Obi Martin. Also, like, we spoke about Harry Amos going out on loan, Ethan Ellis, Ethan Wheatley potentially going out on loan as well. So let's dive into the news, but I just wanted to say thank you. So Stephen Railston, who's probably one of the best journalists out there for United content, he focuses mostly on the academy, but he really does write some good stuff. I like him. I like Laurie Whitwell. Obviously, Henry Winter. There is some really good journalists in the Manchester United space, so I like to give them credit. But he speaks about the academy a lot, and he said this. A source said Eric Ten Hag really likes Toby Collyer, and another source said his record's freakish running stats in training could only be bettered by Bruno Fernandes, and Collyer is a leading prospect by Man United staff. Now, Ruben Amorim demands intensity. Ruben Amorim wants someone that can bring what he wants off the ball, and I think Toby Collyer being able to do that, I think he's going to be well liked, when the biggest problem with United has been the lack of legs and the lack of energy. Now, there is question marks around his ability on the ball. If Toby Collyer had Maino's ability on the ball, Toby Collyer would be one of the greatest players ever. But off the ball, he's got everything you want. But it was said that Manchester United were very surprised but delighted to be able to sign Toby Collyer in 2022. He was regarded as one of the finest midfielders in his age group and in the country. The opportunity to bring him came unexpectedly, and he is very well liked within United. Obviously, he's only just come back from injury, but there's a feeling that Ruben Amorim will take a liking to Toby Collyer. Another player that is really liked inside Manchester United is Sekou Kone. It was said that Sekou Kone made his first start versus Huddersfield, showing flashes of quality, albeit he was still raw, which a high-ranking first-team staff member noted during the match, but sources stressed patience will be key as Kone adjusts to English football. Now, there was also a report that Amorim had been told by coaches about how good Sekou Kone is and what good of a talent he is, and when Sekou Kone returns from injury, Amorim is really eager to watch him. Kone and Collyer are two players that have sort of been highlighted, according to other reports from coaches, for Ruben Amorim to take a look at, probably because of the physical qualities and Ruben Amorim demanding intensity. Eriksen and Casemiro aren't going to play a big role under Amorim because they won't bring the intensity, whereas Amorim is taking his time to assess the youth. We spoke about it, I think, in my video yesterday or the day before, that Amorim's kind of doing an assessment of the youth before bringing anyone in, but they will be two that's expected to be liked. And of course, Godwill Kukonki. Godwill Kukonki joined Ruben Amorim's first training session last month and has already showed attributes to excel in senior football. Left-footed centre-backs are invaluable in modern football, and Kukonki could be the perfect fit for Amorim's long-term plans. The fact that he was called up to the Arsenal squad at age 16, the fact that he was the only one in first-team training, you can tell Amorim likes him. We lack physical flooring. This guy's like 6'5". He's fast. He's physical. Can play left back. Can play left centre back. Can defend the wide channels. If you think of everything Amorim wants in a left centre back, Godwill Kukonki has it. Physical, pace, good on the ball, wide channel defending, left footed. Him and Euro. Obviously, he's raw and he's even rawer than Euro. But Euro right centre back or central centre back. Euro long term. Euro central centre back. Godwill left centre back. We are sorted. Like, if Godwill reaches his potential and Euro reaches his potential, those two at central centre-back and left centre-back's insane. Then you can play Mazraoui right centre-back. We can bring in a right centre-back. I think Diamonde was more of a central centre-back. But that is insane. And I think he would be bigly used under Ruben Amorim. I think Godwill was the one that's going to be the big one under Ruben Amorim. I think Kone he'll take a liking to. Chido he'll take a liking to. Collyer potentially, obviously there's a lack. I think like he's all right on the ball. He's more of an off the ball player, but I think the intensity, I wouldn't be surprised if Collier gets a go because of physicality. Intensity is what Ruben Amorim demands. Other youth players that have impressed is Ethan Ennis, who is attracting January loan interest from several clubs throughout English football pyramid, including Championship and League One sides. That was said by Steve Ralston last week. And then Jack Morehouse was another one that's caught Ruben Amorim's attention. Was unbelievable performance in midfield. This time last week, Ruben Amorim went and watched the under-21s, and Jack Morehouse and Dan Gort in particular were probably the two really most impressive players in that game. He absolutely ran the midfield, and he's another one that's caught Ruben Amorim's eye. Now, on top of those, Diego Leon is signed, as we said earlier in my live stream today. Diego Leon signed all the documents to join Man United in July 2025. The deal has been sealed. Diego Leon, Sekou Kone, Chido, Obi, so many top players coming in, and it's very, very exciting times. Now, let's talk about Chido, because it was said that Ruben Amorim is expected to fast-track the development of Chido, and that Jason Wilcox and Nick Cox and Darren Fletcher are all believed to have spoken about Amorim, about Obi Martin, and I believe he also said about Sekou Kone. And I think, Collier's been bigged up, Harry Amos has been bigged up, and there's big question marks around Collier and Harry Amos because they were the ones that Ten Hag bigged up. Could Amorim have a place for them? I think Harry Amos is going to go out on loan. I think Toby Collyer, because he's been injured, he might not go out on loan. He's one that they might stay till the end of the season, but I think he could go out on loan next year if we bring in a midfielder, just due to his legs and Ruben Amorim, wanting intensity. Kone will be one for the future. Chido will be one for the future as well, but they are still seen as raw. We've also got Lascelles, who was brought in, and Overy as well in the summer. So some really exciting stuff going on with the youth. But there was some other interesting things that was mentioned by Steve Ralston in his report. He said that tensions have risen between Jason Wilcox and academy staff who are under added pressure to produce results. Coaches across all age groups are feeling more scrutiny to win games. In the past, they only focused on youth development and not results. Now, I look at the Manchester City academy. Morgan Rogers, Lavia, Cole Palmer. Imagine what Manchester City would be like if they were in the side. You can look at Sancho, you can look at other players. I think like Bella Kachap, Tawa Harwood-Bellis. There's lots of players. Actually, was Kachap? I think he was Southampton. But they had a lot of great talent in the academy, Manchester City. And they've probably produced, in terms of playing now in the Premier League, probably some of the best talents in football in terms of when you think of Premier League players. They're just not at City other than Foden. So Jason Wilcox was a big part of that. And Jason Wilcox knows what he's talking about when it comes to academy football. But I also think the focus on academy football for me is development, not results, because you are developing them for the future. And Jason Wilcox and Ineos are coming and they're focusing the academy on results rather than development. And this is the best the academy's been. We had about a 5 year, 6 year slump where the academy fell off a bit. And these last 2-3 years, Nick Cox has done fantastic work to get the academy in this brilliant place and develop players. That I think the most important thing in the academy for me is development, not results. Results are important, we're getting them, but it's about development, it's about the system, it's about bringing them a pathway into the first team. That being said, this is Jason Wilcox. Look what he did at City. Look at the success he had at the City Academy. I truly believe he's the man that can do the job. But I do agree with what Steve Ralston said in his article. It said it initially appeared that Ineos' change to the academy would be minimal, but it has become clear that that is not the case, and it's been suggested that not everything is as rosy as it may seem. Ineos need to be careful when tinkering with the academy. Manchester United remain at the forefront of youth development. They have some incredible staff, and Cox has led the youth system to enjoy a renaissance after a period of underachievement. So huge changes aren't required. And I agree. I think like Wilcox coming in, I like changes going in, but I don't want Jim Ratcliffe to sack academy staff and rip up this and rip up that. He apparently brought in some staff from Salford who people were kind of confused to why they got the job. This article goes into a lot more detail, so do go check out Stephen Ralston's article because it goes into a lot more detail than this. But it's interesting. I'm all for, doing what's best for the academy, Jason Wilcox having a bit of freedom. But I also think that it's not like the first team where it just needs to be ripped up and changed. The success we had last season, the success we've had with the academy, I think for me, there's not like there's massive changes needed. So I agree with that. You've got to be careful because Nick Cox is doing a fantastic job. The recruitment on the academy side of things has been absolutely fantastic. So do the changes that feel necessary, but I don't think we need to go over the top. I think the change needs to be focused on the first team. I think youth players will come into the first team more so next season when Ruben Amorim's had a pre-season to assess them. I think you've got to remember that Ruben Amorim is assessing the squad. He's assessing the youth first. We haven't seen much of the youth, but he's probably going to assess them in pre-season. And then next season, we might see his first youngster break through. breakthrough. Every manager seems to have a youngster to break through who's got lots to pick from. We know that United will be looking at left 10s, left wing backs, midfielders, left centre backs as well for the future. But listen, people, thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you so much for 100k. This was a bit of a celebratory video, but I wanted to talk about Stephen Railson's report and a couple other reports that link to that. Stephen Railson's report came out today, but there was a few of these other reports that have come out in the last week about the academy because there's question marks that we haven't seen any under Amorim yet, and that's because he's just got in the door. Thank you for watching. Bye.